Know the deal. You're not allowed to start without me. I had to go and get my coffee. Thank you for joining us on Sweet and Sour tonight. Yes, as you can see, we're still in lockdown here in Western Australia to some degree. We're really roving around our city at ease. The hard border is still in place, but thank you for sending us continuously all the letters and grievances that you happen to have. It's keeping us alive until such time as the WA government decides that we can go back into our studio. And the reason we can't go into our studio is because you can't social distance in a control room. Everyone's tightly packed together. So until such time as the danger is over, we will be coming to you via your computer and Zoom. So thank you for hanging with us. We've got letters tonight from Sydney. We've got letters tonight from Adelaide and also from WA. So you're still watching and you're still sending. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Tonight, Slim Jim returns to us from a period of convalescence, and he's also back into the studios rehearsing for the theatre We Will Rock You, which is going to premiere very shortly here in Perth. Also tonight, we've got Clyde Bevan, fresh from a win on the Perth City Council. Clyde joins us tonight as Councillor Clyde Bevan of the City of Perth. Super Mum, we've got Candice Barnes. She's joining us too. Probably her two kids will stick their heads up. And of course, love philosopher and guru LOUANNE Ward as well. Joining us, Travis will be in to tell us what comments you've made and what you've agreed to or haven't agreed to on the questions that we've asked you. And park your backsides on the couch, because baby, as usual at this time of night, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Thanks for joining us again.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Yeah.
Everyone, welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next chat-filled half hour. You can see all of our guests tonight. First up, after a period of convalescence, and you're back in the studio already with We Will Rock You. Hello, Slim.
Good to see you, Gary. Hello,
Nice
team.
to see
Wonderful
you.
to be here.
How you feeling?
Well, I'm almost on the road to recovery. It's taken a few weeks to get over the treatment. The treatment was pretty intense and pretty severe, but no, I'm feeling pretty good, and been rehearsing hard with We Will Rock You. So that opens this Friday and Saturday at Crown Theatre. So I'm looking forward to a great, successful season there. It's the first time I've actually performed at Crown Theatre since the days of the Hopman Cup.
Oh, good on you. So I'm right in saying you're already into rehearsals?
Oh, totally. We're actually in the final stages of it now, and I think we go in on Wednesday for the first series of tech runs leading up to the preview and opening night this weekend.
Oh, well done, mate. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining.
Oh, it's great to be here, Gary. Great to be amongst you all.
Good on you, mate. Clyde, congratulations to you, sir. Now we call you Councillor Clyde Bevan of the City of Perth. Congratulations and welcome. Yeah, everybody.
You and Slim, you're looking great, I have to say. It's very good to see, and it's very pleasing that I got through, and we're looking forward to doing some great things for the City of Perth and the new Lord Mayor, Councillor Zemplis.
That's it. Have you been having fun already?
Yeah, lots of reading, lots of hard work. It's been good.
Oh, that'll diminish surely as you become familiar with everything. Yeah, that's the worst part of any new job, isn't it? The first 3 months.
Learning what it's all about. Well, I'm getting there with a bit of luck. We'll see.
Good on you, sir. Nice to have you here tonight. It's been a long time between drinks. When was the last time you were on the show?
About 5 years ago, I think, Gary.
Oh, okay. Well, great to have you back, sir. Why are you scratching your lip, Lou? What are you doing?
Oh, because my son is coming up the stairs, and I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to come in. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, don't come in here.
It's a bit like live TV, isn't it? You just, that's how it goes. And Candice, speaking of live TV, we often have your kids popping their head in.
I expect that it'll happen at some point. I've got 2 now. So last time I was on, the little one was really little. And then the time before that, the last time we were in the studio, I was about to pop any day. So the littlest one's 9 months now.
Wow.
And I've got a
Already?
3-year-old, 3 and 3 months, 3
Wow.
years and 3 months old. Yeah, so it's
Wow.
hectic, but it's good fun. I haven't slept in 4 years. Yay!
Well, don't fall
I
asleep.
feel
on
like
us tonight.
Clyde burning the midnight oil all the time.
Yeah, and he
Well,
does.
Candice, I've been here for 3 years then, by the sounds of it.
Good for
Yeah.
All right, guys. Lovely to have you here. Let's do some work for the people at home. First up tonight, coming from not too far away, Natasha of Mandurah writes into us, hello, Mitch. Is it true once a cheater, always a cheater? Now, normally I'd go, it's one of those things again. But this one's not cheating in the usual way we think about cheaters, although it says further down that he really is. I hope not, but I need some direction here to make sure that I nip this possibility in the bud. My 16-year-old son is in his second last year of high school, so he's a young tyke. And he's pretty normal and average. Last week, one evening, he said to me that he was studying for his history test that he was to have the following day. Well, he finished studying very quickly and was back to his computer gaming. Also very quickly. Without asking, I went to his room to grab a pen out of his pencil case. I didn't realise they still had those, but nice to hear, a little bit of nostalgia going on at school, and found a whole heap of cheat notes on his history topic. I almost died. I have no idea why he would feel the need to cheat. I don't know how long this has been going on, but if he's doing it in history, he's obviously doing it in every subject, and it's never going to help him. My dad always told me there's no such thing as a shortcut in life, and that's proven to me every single day. What can I do to change his crash course to hardship, which this invariably leads to? I know at his age, he cheats on his girlfriend too, so am I too late? Writes Natasha, as we said. Oh no, it's Natasha, sorry Natasha, of Mandurah in WA. All right, Slim, come on in, sir. First up, once a cheater, always a cheater, no matter what.
Well, it seems to be he's cheating in more than just his academia. It seems to be cheating in life as well, which is not a great precedent. I think, you know, nothing ever comes in, and nothing easy comes in life. And I think making that sort of the extra effort to study hard and be committed to a partner and so forth, it helps condition your character. And I think that's a really important thing in life, that, you know, you are being conditioned. How old is the child we're talking about? 16.
16.
The 16-year-old is being conditioned to deal with these matters in life that are essential in building someone's character, which will gain him respect, not only from his partner and from his peers, but from the community at large. And I think it's an essential aspect of life that, you know, you have to put in the hard yards, achieve what you need to achieve, be on a social basis or an academic basis, and it will certainly leave you in good stead for your future.
What do you do here? Do you ring up the school principal and tell him, catch him out? Candice, what do you think?
I think Mum's got the wrong idea. So, having done a lot of study in the humanities and the arts, I want to know what makes her think these are cheat notes and why not study notes. Has she heard of an open book exam? These things are common in arts, especially history, because it's not about rote learning always. It's about how you make your argument. Especially in 16, you're probably in year 10, year 11, they're probably looking at your essay structure. They're probably looking at how you justify your argument, what your sources are, rather than just making sure that you get the exact dates correctly. So I'm wondering whether Mum might be jumping the gun a little bit.
You're being very nice. He's cheating on his girlfriend as well.
Well, see, that'll come back to bite him. And trust me, hell hath no fury, as they say, right? He'll do that to the wrong girl one day and it'll come biting him in the butt. Or boy, you know, either way.
We all have to learn our lessons. Clyde, what do you do in this situation, sir?
I think Candice might be a little bit generous there. I think that
I think so. She's nice.
And I think the parents are to blame. I know that you get all your values, we're all products of our environment, and we get our values from our parents. And my father used to say to me ad nauseum, you always get out of life what you put into it, and you always get what you deserve. Now, I think the parents should point out to the young man that what will happen to him if he gets caught? How embarrassed will he be if he gets caught? And lots of people are in court doing these sorts of things, and it's something that he should start learning his work. But maybe, as Candice said, I'll give you a bit of slack there, Candice. Maybe he does need to explain it to his mother and to his parents exactly what he's doing. Is he cheating or is he doing the right thing?
All right, relationship expert LOUANNE Ward. What's going on here, really, Lou?
Okay, well, everything that we do in life is a learnt skill. So when did he learn to cheat, Mum? We're all,
Well, maybe Dad. Don't give her a hard time.
But we're going to learn our life skills to serve us how we want them to serve us. Everybody cheats. There's not a single person on this planet who hasn't cheated, who doesn't cheat. We cheat on our diets. We cheat on our exercise programs. We cheat on the tax department. We cheat on our bosses when we take a day off and we're not really sick. And, the society, we live in, we micro cheat and we macro cheat. But making an assessment that someone is cheating and then pointing the finger at them, when you're pointing the finger at somebody else, there's three pointing back at you. So when Mum is saying, oh, he's cheating and he's cheating on his girlfriend too, he's 16. What's he actually doing to cheat on the girlfriend? And, if this is something that's a problem for you, how are you condoning it? Because, what is cheating?
We're all guilty of cheating. To some degree, we're all guilty, according to Lou.
Of course we all cheat. There's no single person
of course.
They've cheated. And we're only going to cheat for things that we see value in or we see no value in.
Or you see no value in. Where you go, no, yep, I agree. Yeah, no value.
Sometimes, the more we have a judgment on the people that we are judging, the more the judgment is actually on ourselves. So what's Mum's real problem here? Is the real problem that, he's trying to get a quick way to the top, and he doesn't even know what the top is at this point because he's 16. So I just think that, having a conversation with your child and sitting down saying, hey, look, I found these notes while I was in your room, in your pencil case with your permission. Talk to your kid.
We'd still like her to write to Sweet and Sour, though. Gives us something to do. Travis, we ask our social media people and our viewers a question. Once a cheater, always a cheater. How did they answer? Oh, LOUANNE's going, no. So...
Mitch, 45% said yes, 55% said no.
Ooh. Now that's, in political terms, that would be a huge margin, but in Sweet and Sour terms, that's not. So that people are... much like Lou says, everybody does, they think about it and everybody, it just depends which one you tick on this occasion. Okay, no hard and fast answer. Everybody's scratching their head about that one. All right, Travis.
Tricky one.
All right, sir. Next letter coming right up all the way from, where are we? Oh, yes, you'd think I'd have this lined up already. And it's from, this one's a local one as well. They're full of local people this weekend. Hi folks, is it me? Or does everyone think Australia Post is just a crap organisation now? Clyde, we were having these conversations recently.
We were.
I mailed a card and present to my sister for her birthday. I paid extra so I could track the item and have delivery expedited. After 2 weeks, it still hadn't been delivered, and so I went to claim insurance on it. I was told I'd have to wait for the recovery strategy to be completed, even though they could no longer track it. What a pathetic organisation Australia Post is now. How sad is that? The last CEO left after diminishing the organisation to loss-making, a sluggish business that no longer prioritises mail as its focus, and that idiot left after pocketing millions of dollars in bonuses despite all the losses. Today I learned that the new CEO bought gifts of Cartier watches, this is very recent, for 4 employees. She's also been shown the back door. The role of this government department is defined by legislation and it's completely failed that. But is this just the tip of the iceberg? Are all government agencies just vehicles now for fat cats to graze and the needs of the public have become second to corporate raider mentality? Can we ever turn this around? Comes to us from Byron. of Salter Point in WA. Clyde, we're going straight to you first, sir, since we've been having those conversations over the last few weeks.
We
Goodness
certainly
me.
have. In fact, in the local government elections, we had a case where the returning officer said, on the Monday, if you haven't posted already your ballot, don't post it, hand deliver it, because it might not get there by the Saturday. That's pretty disgraceful, really. Usually when we post a letter in the city, it's there the next day. I've had lots of trouble with Australia Post. So I'm really onto this one. I've had a delivery in my house in Gooseberry Hill, and instead of coming up to the house, because I've got a bit of a steep driveway, the fellow pulls up in the van, the Australia Post van, and shoves a little card in the letterbox saying that we weren't home and please come along and pick it up from the delivery pickup area. And we were home, and I yelled out from my veranda, I'm home, I'm up here. And we have the same problem with our restaurant as well. We have, in fact, we had the card saying there was no one home delivered by the postman. They don't even come up to our door and shove it under the door. The postman delivers it with the mail, and then we have to go and collect, 3, 4, 5 cartons of wine from Australia Post. We have to go and collect it ourselves rather than it being delivered. So there definitely is something wrong, sadly, with Australia Post, and whether it's being squeezed by the federal government, funds being taken away, or it's just mismanagement, I'm not sure, but it is not very good, Gary.
Agreed, Clyde. Lou, do you agree that there's this pandemic of mail inefficiency happening and all that the floor of Australia Post?
Is it a rhetorical question? I mean, is Australia... Because of course, like we've all seen the changes, and it's not just through COVID either. I mean, Australia Post, you think of the icon it used to be, you'd be able to pay to have an express post delivered, and it would actually get delivered. There was many years ago, you could rely on an overnight delivery. What is even an overnight delivery now? You can't. And as far as people working their way up through the ranks of government departments, I mean, no one's kind of born a fat cat, but they see their entitlement of, oh, well, this person got away with it, so I see what I can get away with. And once they're in those positions, it's really hard to get them out of those positions. So you're really dealing with a bunch of old school people in a lot of the cases that are institutionalized by their government departments, and nobody does anything about it because the fresh blood can't just come in and shake it up, because that's not how people are employed in the government department. You have to apply for a position that you've been doing for 5 years. The whole government systems, need a big shake up, and new people need to come in, but I don't think we're going to see that happen. But yes, Australia Post.
What happened to the customer coming first, especially in Australia Post? Because now it looks like surpluses or profits, as Australia Post now call them, even though they shouldn't, seem to come first. And us, we come last.
Yeah, absolutely.
Candice,
Lucky we don't have the post business.
Yeah, can I just say, I had a case where I had to get a part for my car, and it was sent from Melbourne. It was here the next day by private enterprise, not by a government agency, but by private enterprise, who know they have to deliver, know they have to perform, and that's what happens in private enterprise. Sadly, it's not happening with Australia Post.
I've had the opposite experience. I've had the opposite experience. Every time it's a courier, goes missing. Absolutely goes missing. Anytime it's a private company, rubbish. They'll never come. They'll never drop it off. They'll do all sorts of things. My postie is the best guy. He's so
You've got a good relationship.
So good. Like, he says, I used to listen to you on 6PR. He listened to Clyde on 6PR. He says hello to my children. He knows not to ring the doorbell.
Difference.
Yeah, he doesn't ring the doorbell because he knows baby will be sleeping. Yeah. And my letters never go
coming
missing.
First.
Oh, he's the best. I've written to Australia Post to compliment him so many times because he just nails it.
General manager.
They should.
You're very lucky.
I really am. And I tell him all the time how much I appreciate him, because in my work, I rely so much on the post. I've done, as of today, 281 weddings. So I'm using the post several times a week. I don't do registered post. Oh yeah, always. But I've only ever had one of those letters go missing in the post. And it was because someone broke into the post box. It wasn't Australia Post's fault. So out of 281, to only have one go missing is not bad odds, really.
But what you're failing to tell everybody is how they all arrived in one mail delivery last week.
Probably. But you know what? No complaints anyway. No complaints. Though, you know, yeah, of course there are inefficiencies, and of course there are understaffing issues, and of course they are having to catch up and deal with all sorts of things, like you can hear in my background. You know, 2020 has revolutionized so many different people and so many different industries. I'm going to give them a bit of slack, honestly. I hope they change it soon.
Good on you. Slim, last word, sir. How's your postal service?
It's absolutely appalling. And I've got to suggest to you, recently I had my license had to be renewed for my business, and I had to get a police clearance document. And my wife had to send an email off to the police department requesting when we were going to receive it. It's taken in excess of 2.5 weeks for it to be here. And of course, the due date for the license to be renewed is coming up as well. I think it's a disappointment that a government utility that's owned by all Australians can perform so poorly. I just find that quite incredulous. And I do feel that really Australia Post needs to lift their game tremendously. And what's been going on recently in recent years that we've been able to find out through the media, with the way the CEOs have been paying themselves for the quality of leadership they've been offering Australia Post, is nothing but appalling. They should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, we're not talking about a great salary. We're talking about a completely hysterically out of proportion salary, which does not lend itself to, for me to agree to the fact that the service is being provided. And if people are losing their jobs, and staff are losing their jobs to compensate these CEOs with their fat pay packets, well, that's not good enough. And that is one of the major reasons why I'm sure the services are not being rendered to the Australian public. The Australia Post should be looked upon as being one of the yardsticks of services provided by Australians for all Australians to this very day. And the very fact that it's not is a great disappointment to me.
It is. Do you think, as I said earlier, this is pandemic throughout all government agencies?
Well, it shouldn't be, Gary, because I mean, we are paying a lot of tax to make sure these amenities and utilities are being looked after and run correctly. But then again, this argument can also extend towards the quality of politicians throughout Australia currently. So I mean, we can all talk about the fact, I mean, are they finding that being a politician is worthy of their credentials, or are they better suited to private enterprise? I think here is a situation where private enterprise people have entered into a government utility but have shown no propensity to be able to improve the circumstances of the quality of that utility. It's such a disappointment. I mean, I suppose when talking about the government, as I just mentioned, I do feel that the quality of representation, and it's nice to see some friends recently, like Basil and Clyde himself, being involved in the Perth City Council. I've got great faith in those people being able to do the right thing for Perth people and Western Australians. But on an Australian level, I just like to see a higher quality of professionalism come into the way politicians take these roles and the way they perform.
Service to the public needs to be improved.
It has to be first and foremost.
First and foremost. Pardon, Luke?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the posties contractors? I don't think that they're actually employees of Australia Post anymore. I think they get
my postie's employed.
Yeah, okay. Well, mine's a great postie. I've got a great postie. She's wonderful. And, she got a postie run. She calls it a postie run. It's not, so I don't know whether there's certain areas that they're contracted out or whether they're all still employees. But
probably a bit of both.
Yeah. I think it makes a difference as well. When you're contracting, you want to keep that contract. So you're going to go that little bit of extra mile to do things.
Okay. Do any of you think we're in now an upward trajectory in terms of service, and we've hit the bottom and it's just going to get better? Do any of you have a sense of improvement?
I couldn't get any worse, Gary.
Yeah.
I'm the
of us
wrong one
know
to
the
ask
giggle.
because I'm happy.
You're always happy, Candice.
It's true. It's ridiculous.
But both Candice and Lou highlighted one point that's probably the most significant. They have a relationship, and they've established a relationship with their postie. And that's what it's all about. You can't actually do that with terribly many government departments anymore. Goodness me. Heavens, I was ringing the City of Perth, Clyde. 5 times I rang them over the last 6 months. I still haven't received a call back, but I did receive an email asking me if I was happy with the service. I didn't respond to those either. That's your job, sir. Now, if you'd like to write a letter to Sweet and Sour, here are the 5 contact points that Travis will flash on the screen at a later point in time for our participants tonight. And if you've got anything that you'd like to discuss or get off your chest, we'd love to hear from you.
Connect with Sweet and Sour online. Head to our official website, sweetandsour.net.au, to catch up on past episodes. And while you're there, why not send us a letter? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Now, letter 3, we're going straight to North Sydney. Robert of New South Wales writes, hello panel. Why do some people want to answer their phone? Oh, I see. They don't want to answer their phone if it doesn't show a number. My girlfriend, who is 44, drives me nuts when she sits there wondering who it was that called on her mobile, but still won't budge if the incessant caller uses a private or hidden number. I've gone to the extent of making my number private just to teach her a lesson, but she still won't answer, ever. I don't get it. Less than 20 years ago, none of us knew who was on the other end of the phone when it rang, and we raced for the phone. I just don't get what the lurking insecurity is that has so many of us not answering private numbers. Could panelists please let me know why this phenomenon exists and why it's grown, please? And as we said, Robert of North Sydney, not North Ryde. I have a mate in North Ryde. Candice, first up.
I tell you why. I don't answer the phone either when it's a private number. No way. Because it's going to be a...
Because you know who's on the other end. One of those...
No, I don't know. And that's what I don't want to find out, because people who hide their numbers have something to hide. You're an organization trying to sell me something. You're a scammer telling me you're a Nigerian prince and you want to marry me. I'm already married. It's fine. Or you're somebody you don't want me to know who you are. And so I don't want to know who you are.
So you run away from... Do you run away from the front door when it rings as well now?
I have a video doorbell.
Oh.
I don't answer the door. I use my phone for that. I say, yes, leave my postman. Can you leave my package at the door, please? I'll come out. And also I can hide. And if I don't recognize them, no, they can't come in. I don't want to talk to you. Don't come to my house. Weird.
Don't come to my house. It's a funny phenomenon that we're in, but I understand because everything's changed. My view is that the nature of humanity is that we are insecure. When we're talking about an earlier age, when people raced for the phone, we didn't have as many people calling from foreign places, hassling the crap out of us. And everybody was basically the same. You know,
I think it's because we're so reachable in our homes now. We're so always reachable that sometimes we just want to not be reachable. We just want our own little place where we don't have to worry about working or pleasing people. People call because they want something. Text me, I'll get to it in my own time, right? I've had words with friends and family members sometimes, like, don't just show up at my house. Don't tell me you're coming.
Wow.
Like, don't just show up. It's weird.
I used to love people rolling up at our place when I was a young kid, you know, because
I don't want to wear pants. I might not be wearing pants, and I don't want to have to wear pants.
Come on in, Lou. You answer your front door?
Do I answer my front door? Who is it, Clyde? Me?
No, you, Lou.
Sorry. Do I answer my front door? They can't get to my front door because they've got a security gate, so that's good. So if they buzz on the security gate, I get to see who they are before I decide. If they're standing there with a parcel, I go, oh, you can come in. If there's no parcel, there's no entry. no entry. Look, when's the last time something good happened to you when you answered the phone and it was a private number? I'll tell you when.
Yeah.
Never. So what happens is we have a bias confirmation of when I answer a private number, the chances of something good happening are very low. So I'm going to take my bias confirmation. I'm going to not answer my phone. And half the reason I don't answer my phone is because I really don't want to be rude to somebody. You know, I know that there's somebody at the end of the line just trying to do their job, just trying to make a living. And so I will get into a conversation with them with no intention to buy anything, with no interest in what they're having to sell. So then I've got to either waste my time or kind of be rude and reject them. And I don't actually want to go down that road. So no, I don't answer my phone when it's a private number. What I don't understand though, is when somebody answers their phone and it's not a private number, like if I call somebody and they answer and they say, oh, I can't talk right now. Well, why did you answer your phone? If you can't talk, don't answer and then reject me and tell me you can't talk, just don't answer. But we're just not going to answer a private number because nothing good happens from it.
And there's no going back. I think that, Slim, how do you feel about this? I think that's the trajectory now. We're not going to answer people that we don't know.
In recent years, I've stopped answering private numbers most of the time because it's usually Clive Palmer on the other end. I was at the Clive Palmer party chasing up some sort of, you know, campaign motive or whatever. So I don't, but only recently when I've had treatment, I've just discovered that the hospital, when they contact you, will always be on a private number. So I've had to re-educate myself to answering a private number, because more often than not, 99.9% of the time, is actually the hospital ringing me up regarding, you know, follow-ups and treatment. But prior to that, when I had my own office down the road from where I live now and where my office has moved to, at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my office phone and my mobile phone would start ringing incessantly with overseas callers, you know, what do they call them?
Yeah.
You know, callers, you know, trying to sell you internet space or whatever. And it was nightmarish. And we're not just talking about 1 or 2 calls a day. It was averaging 5 to 8 calls minimum a day. And that was extremely frustrating. So I think we've all been re-educated in answering a private number because we just know on the other end of the line is going to be, as LOUANNE said, disappointment is sort of saying, look, thanks, but really we're okay. Thanks for calling. And then even using those lines like, please don't, you know, please remove my number from your teledex. It never happened. They were going to bring back incessantly. Charity groups, you know, scam callers, everything was just, it became a nightmare. So I think we've all been re-educated now with the way modern society has become and private numbers showing up in your telephone line.
But you would have to answer every single call that comes into friends, surely, because you never know if it's going to be a booking or whatever.
You're absolutely right, Gary, and could well be messages from residents for the city of Perth as well. So you've got to answer the phone no matter what. We've had up to 5 phone calls a day from Google Maps, or supposedly from Google Maps, and for people wanting to make an investment in gold and so on. And you have to answer these and be polite as you possibly can be. And sometimes the Google Maps people ring you straight back again, and it's very, very frustrating. And it's interesting too that people aren't answering the phones even for numbers that they know. They will take text message so that they can, we might send a message, we need you in at 5 o'clock tonight. They'll answer that, but if we ring them on the phone, they won't answer the phone. So that's difficult in itself. So that, I think people are using the phone less. It used to be probably about 5 years ago, phones would be ringing all the time in a restaurant, a phone call over here and a phone call over there, and people be shouting on the phone, talking to one another, and it's quite disconcerting for the rest of the restaurant. But now you can have a table of 6, they'll have their phones out in front of them and they're all messaging on their phone rather than 6 people all together on the same table.
How bizarre. What's the point of going out to dinner together?
I wonder sometimes.
Goodness me. Another question we asked, do you answer calls from private numbers? So what did our viewers actually tell us? I bet you I bet you I know the answer here.
Only 30% of our viewers answer private numbers. 70% ignore them.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought it would have been
No.
as high as 30%. That's quite amazing. 70% do not answer private numbers.
I
Wow.
personally don't answer them. I've answered a couple, and common one I get is, there is a warrant for your arrest from the tax agents, or there is a problem with your Windows computer. I have Macs.
I know, but that's where we are now. Well, that's not going to change. It's only going to get a little bit stronger, I suppose. Anyway, that does it for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining with us. Slim, good luck with everything, especially with We Will Rock You. We'll all be down to the Regal. Yes,
No, not the
or
Regal, Crown Theatre.
Crown. I'm so used to you being a
Crown Theatre.
It's the Crown. Wow, that's a lot of tickets. Are we allowed to sell out the place, or do we have social space?
Well, I think they've got 60% capacity available, and I think they've sold about 25,000 tickets currently.
Wow.
There's still a few tickets left, and they've extended the season by an extra week. So let's hopefully, for those that want to come and see it, come and see it. Casey Donovan, who I started rehearsing with a few days ago, she is absolutely phenomenal. What a voice. And so are the rest of the cast members. It's been a great show to work on, this one, Gary. Real special.
Good on you, Slim. All right, mate. Good health. Thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoy. We Will Rock You. Lou, are you off to see it?
Oh, why not? I love that sort of stuff. That was great.
I think we just got another ticket sale there, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go by myself, maybe 5.
All right. We'll
hear.
get a group of us, and then we're going to friends afterwards for dinner. Thank you, Clyde.
Good point.
Thank you. Very good to be with you, Gary. And good
Always
to see
good
you.
to have you, sir. All right. And we'll see you at Clyde and Leslie's restaurant. Friends.
right.
What's the address?
200 St. George's Terrace in the city.
And if you have a bad experience there, don't ring the City of Perth and complain.
Well, you won't have a bad experience because it's always
You never
wonderful.
do.
Thank
The
you,
best in
Candice.
Perth. Candice, thank you. We had an extra participant there for a little while. That was fun, but
We
we didn't
did.
get any comment.
No, Cleo and Griffin came in from outside, and there were big feelings that were had about coming in from outside because it's getting to be the evening. So I had to quickly
get it.
jump into mum mode and take one of the kids, so
I'm
prevent
sure
my
they had a
husband from
comment.
pulling his hair out.
I'm sure they had a comment to make on Australia Post, which is why they charged in.
The comment was which seemed to have been about what everyone else said.
Good on you. Travis, thank you to you, sir, for putting it all together, and we will see you next week, sir, and we'll see everybody soon. Thank you for joining us on Sweet and Sour tonight, everybody. Good night, Australia. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
See you, Gary. All the best.
See ya.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
See you,
Bye-bye
guys.
now.
Thank you.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet